Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to provide an update from the Department of State about immigrant visa processing following the cancellation of two proclamations, 9645 and 9983, also known as the Muslim ban. There's a long list of countries affected by this ban. What is important in this video, we'll talk about the new procedures that the Department of State is going to take towards these applicants, what are the procedures moving forward, and also what we can learn for other applicants who are not from these countries as to how embassies and consulates are going to continue to process immigrant visas in the next 3 months. It is really important. I'm going to try to break it down in this video, so make sure you stay to the end. Also, I'm going to touch a little bit about the interview waivers for immigrant visas that are now taking place in all consulates and embassies worldwide, what you need to know if you had a non-immigrant visa already approved in your passport and it hasn't expired, how you can renew it without an interview. So make sure again, you'll stick to the end. I'll give you all the details. So let's jump right in. Hello everybody, and welcome back to our immigration channel. This is the place where we get the most up-to-date information about immigration news, immigration updates, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnik and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California. And if you're here for the first time, make sure to click the notification bell, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos. And also give us that big like so YouTube will be able to share this video with more people just like you. So let's talk about the new guidance from the Department of State with respect to applicants that were denied visas, denied waivers, because of the proclamation also known Muslim ban, proclamations 9645 and 9983. On January 20, 2021, President Biden signed an executive order ending discriminatory bans on entry to the United States, essentially lifting the Muslim ban. Under this proclamation, people from the following countries were banned from entering to the United States and getting visa interviews. People from countries like Burma, Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan, Iran, Libya, Nigeria, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Tanzania, Venezuela, and Yemen were banned from entering the United States and getting their visa interviews. At the same time, there are quite a few people that were eligible to get their waivers. And many people did apply for waivers. We helped quite a few clients obtain these waivers, but many of the waivers were stuck. Under Biden's new policy, the government said that they're going to be reviewing all the cases that were denied because of these proclamations, and also for people that were not able to get their waivers. All these cases are currently being reviewed, and the government will consider whether they're going to be reopening these cases that were denied during that proclamation. According to the new guidelines, applicants who were previously refused under the Muslim ban proclamation are now eligible to reapply to file a new DS-260 with a new application fee, and they're going to be reconsidered. However, applicants whose eligibility for a waiver is still being determined, these people who applied for the waivers before January 20th, 2021, such applicants could request the embassy to continue processing their applications, get priority without filing a new DS-260 and without paying a new application fee. The reason this is important is that even applicants who are not subject to the Muslim ban and your applications were denied or wrongfully refused at U.S. embassies and consulates worldwide. For example, if you were K1 or CR1 that were denied visa appointment because of the travel proclamation 114 and any other proclamations, you should be able to contact the U.S. embassy in your country and request resuming processing of your application if the only reason why you were not able to get your visa appointment was because of a proclamation that is no longer in effect. I think it's important to learn from that these embassies and consulates have the power to look at your case and determine whether they can resume processing your application or if you have to reapply and pay an application fee if there's a specific reason. But again, what we can learn from this new policy is that it is important to communicate with your specific consulate or embassy, let them know that the only reason why you were not able to get an appointment was because of a proclamation, and then see if they can resume processing your application and get you a priority for your immigrant visa interview. Let's talk about visa interview waivers. So visa interview waivers are currently happening. The Department of State announced that it's expanding its program for non-immigrant visa interview waivers. Interview waiver program is expanded through December 31st, 2021. If you're applying to renew a non-immigrant visa in the same category, in the same classification, and your visa is going to expire within the next 48 months, you don't have to go through an interview. it's going to be done automatically without you appearing for an interview. This was expanded from the previous program that allowed people that the non-immigrant visas were going to be expiring within 24 months to waive their interview and do everything by mail or electronically. So these are great news. This is another way for the Department of State to reduce the backlogs at the U.S. Embassy, to see less people. The less people they see, the more visas they can process, and focus more on immigrant visas to be able more people to get their immigrant visas, because the backlog is huge. As I mentioned in the previous video, we almost have 500,000 of people that are stuck overseas without the possibility to get their immigrant visa appointments scheduled, and we're hoping that with this non-immigrant visa interview waivers, with increasing the staffing, with expanding the facilities, they're going to be able to see more and more people, and that backlog will be able to go down. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, because the Department of State is reviewing its policies with respect to people that were previously denied. For example, we started with the Muslim ban countries. Many of them that were going through a waiver process and were not able to get their appointments are now going to be able to contact their embassy and get a priority to get their immigrant visas processed. And those people who were clearly denied because they were not eligible for a waiver will just have to reapply, resubmit their DS-260s as soon as possible so that they can be scheduled for an interview as soon as the embassies will take them. These are good news that the Biden administration is reviewing policies, making things go smoother. They're trying to push the embassies and consulates to give priority to immigrant visas that were previously denied, and maybe even reopen cases that were previously refused because of these proclamations that are no longer in effect. Every time we have a new update from the Department of State, I'll be sure to make a video and keep you posted, as I always do. Once again, if you have any questions, make sure you post them in the comments below. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to share this video with more people just like you. And once again, if you're stuck, if you need help with your case, if you're confused, make sure you text me right here, 619-483-4549, and set up your consultation so I can talk to you one-on-one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.